Once in a dementia unit, it's not the recent memory loss that's the problem, all care's being taken care of, but the additional problems of being in a dementia unit which compound and complicate. And there's many aspects to this: primary problems, secondary problems, etc., and different perspectives from all parties. But the best thing to do from the starting point is to get a set of the clinical notes, and you need the power of attorney's authority for that. And then at least you can see the medical perspective. Get to know the medications, the terminology, all the different aspects of daily cares, eating, sleeping, dressing, washing, etc. So once you're familiar with that, then you're in a good, strong position to be able to speak to nursing care, nursing staff, carers, doctors, and establish clinical meetings and get everything under control for your parent from the medical perspective. But of course, there's your perspective as well that comes into it, and indeed your mother's perspective. So all perspectives need to be taken into consideration. It's not just the medical establishment that should be dominating, but rather you know your parents, say your mother's history, so that needs to come into it. Your mother also has an opinion, no doubt about it, if she's not over-medicated and if she's confident enough to express her opinion. So take, for example, one fairly common example that happens in dementia units. Say your mother, now in her 80s, early 80s, she has Alzheimer's, she's been in the dementia unit 2-3 months, and she's always been a good walker, strong, independent, no supports, no walking stick, no walker. She's been totally capable in that regard. And then after a short time in the dementia unit, you notice that her gait is becoming faster and faster, quicker and quicker, like Parkinson's gait, very unstable, and she's starting to have falls. Now, dementia is a slowly progressing condition of memory loss, and Parkinson's is also a slowly developing condition, often in association with dementia. But if the onset of poor gait and poor walking patterns is quick, it's often because of medication, side effects of medication. So that being the case, this being a really serious complication for your mother, and definitely compounding problems from that, the best thing, again, going back to the clinical notes, seeing what medication she's on, becoming familiar with it, not so much from Google, but from a friend or family member, hopefully, who's either a carer or a nurse or a doctor, someone that's really familiar with medications. And if it is a carer who gives out medications so they're aware of side effects of, the main medications given. So once you're in tune with that, and you do have concerns that your mother's walking pattern is deteriorating because of medication, then you can go to the doctor's meeting, call a doctor's meeting, go to the doctor's meeting, and as a fully informed participant, so that then once you ask informed questions, then you will get informed answers. Whereas if you haven't read the notes and you're not updated, things will just quickly be glossed over to save time and energy, no doubt. So say you're in the meeting and the doctor understands your concerns, picks it up and says, well, yes, actually that medication, antipsychotic, can give Parkinson's type symptoms commonly with dementia. Yes, we'll either try medication or I can just, tone it down, and we can look at the symptoms and make sure that it's not affecting your mother negatively, and hopefully she can get her walking patterns back. So then you're on board then with the medical establishment. So this is how one reduces all the complications and compounding complications, because medical side effects, medication and side effects can really compound complications quickly, and you really need to get in there fast to reduce it and tame it down. Along with this, of course, encouraging your mother, Mum, I know it's really difficult with your walking at the moment, but I've talked to the doctor. Oh, and at the medical meeting, bring your mother in to the medical meeting, explain to her before the meeting what's happening, so at least she can keep up to it to a certain extent anyway. At least she's informed and part of the equation. So she can be there. You inform her before, during and after the meeting as to what's going on all the way through. Now, mum, you know, and say in front of the doctor, mum, we're talking about your medications to see if we can improve your walking and get it back to what it was. You know, just something like that. And she'll say, well, yes, dear, that would be very good. I've always been a good walker, always been a strong walker. And yes, you have, mum. So in that way, that confirms to the doctor and the nurse present, if she's there, that yes, indeed, you have been a strong, fit, capable walker your whole entire life. So that being the case and quickly deteriorating, chances are medications are the reason. So, you know, it really is a team approach. It really is a team approach. And in between the doctor's meetings, talk to the clinical manager, talk to the charge nurse, get informed, get feedback, ask questions, look at the signs and symptoms of your mother, feed that back to the nursing establishment, who will feed that back to the doctor, and again have another doctor's meeting if you need to, more so than just the 3 monthly meetings, which are the standard. If you wait another 3 months after your mother's been medicated and symptoms have just started to show, it's far too late in the equation. You've got to really get it as soon as you can. Try getting a meeting within the week to be able to work it through. Oh, really, it's a big ongoing, I won't say battle, challenge, yes, but it's the main thing, because you do need to be the voice for your parent in this situation. It's far too easy for medications to come into play, and you know, the person ends up with all these compounding complications. So once the medication's reduced and adjusted, and you know, you've worked with your mother, you've made sure, mum, you know, we still have to go for our walks, mum. I know it's a bit difficult for you walking at the moment, but we've got to keep it going. And also, if it's the Parkinsonian type gait, which is, you know, that festinating gait, where the steps get quicker and quicker as she goes along, and then the balance can go. One way of counteracting this is a physiotherapy technique. I've 40 years as a prior physio, so working with many Parkinson's patients. So when your mother's walking along, she may now be on a walker because of lack of stability, which helps in part. But the big thing is to break that walking pattern. So rather than the quick festinating gait, just say to your mother now, mum, we'll do away with the walker now. You can just hold on to my arm, forearm support, your arm close by your side, and she can hold on, put a hand through your upper arm, so that's a really good stable proximal grip. Now, mum, I want you to, we're going to walk along the corridor here, or we're going to walk outside along this big concrete path, and I want you to stride out, big steps. Okay, so you start and you say, okay, mum, we're starting now. Now, stride out, big steps, mum, bigger steps, stride out, keep concentrating, stride out. Now, those striding out steps will break the short festinating gait, and your mother will start to get confidence with her walking pattern again. So hopefully once the medication's dulled down, tamed down, stabilised, then she can get back her balance, do away with the walker, and get back her good walking gait. I've seen this happen on a number of occasions where medication's been adjusted, and a fit, strong woman in her 80s with dementia can get back her walking pattern, but a lot of effort had to go in, you know, it was actually from the family's perspective, power of attorney's perspective, has to go into it. Or it can be another child, but as long as they get the clinical notes from the power of attorney to make sure that everything's in place. You have to know all the details, because it is so complicated actually once medications come into play. That's why, you know, it's a big field. So, but you can train yourself up on it and learn about it and get involved. So I've written about this in the Residents' Voice, Residents' Rise at length, both on Amazon in the description below. Thank you for your viewing and likes, and please pass on the links.